Hi everybody, welcome to another hour of English classes here on verbling.com. My name is Lisa and I am living in the United States. I'm from the United States. I live in the state of Washington on the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, and I'm one of the teachers here on verbling.com. And in this hour, we're going to be having a speaking class, and specifically, we're going to be practicing speaking to the questions or answering the questions or the type of questions that are asked when you take an English proficiency exam, such as the IELTS exam or the TOEFL exam. These are also very common types of questions when you meet people, when you're getting to know other people. So one of the things about learning English is that you will be able to communicate with more people. And usually when you meet somebody, you start having an exchange. So you're talking to each other and getting to know each other a little bit, learn about each other. So it's good to practice that as well. So if you have a reservation for this class, you can go ahead and use that reservation now. And if you don't have a reservation but you want to take this class, then you can just click on the Join Class button, and it should be available there in just a minute or so. The first 2 minutes are always reserved for people who have made reservations. So if you had a reservation, then you can use that now, but if you didn't, that's okay. You can probably join the class just by clicking on the Join Class button when you see it. Okay? All right, so hi Chi. Hi Chi, you're back?
Yeah, hello, I'm back.
Good,
Just
welcome.
have a dinner, yeah.
Yeah, you had your dinner?
Yeah, I've just had one dinner.
Nice, okay. And hi there, Carol.
Hello, how are you?
Good, I'm doing well, thank you. And Andrea, how are you doing?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm fine.
Did you
Home
have
alone
dinner?
again? No, yet.
Not yet.
No.
What time are you going to have dinner?
I don't know. Maybe midnight.
Wow. So late. I'll be sleeping. Well, not
Yes.
at your midnight. I won't be sleeping, but at my midnight, I'll be sleeping. Yes, we have different time schedules. Okay, you guys. Well, I haven't done one of these classes for a while, so I thought I would throw one in here on the schedule and see if people wanted to do something like this. I do know that some students are preparing for some type of English proficiency exam. There are lots of them out there. Two of the most common ones, if you're interested in like studying or working in the United States or in another English-speaking country, one is the IELTS exam, which is a British exam, and then the other one is the TOEFL exam, which is an American company. But both of those exams are used to test your skills in English. So you take the test. It has speaking, reading, writing, and listening components or portions of the test, and then you get a score for each part. So your scores may show that you're about the same in all areas, or your scores may show that in some areas you're doing really well and maybe you have a higher level of skill, and then in some areas you maybe need more practice. But the best thing I recommend for people taking any type of test is first work on everything. Work on your fluency, just speaking the language. Then once you're pretty good at communicating, you listen to things, you can hear, you understand what you hear, then you can start working on specific test-taking strategies. But it really is testing your English level. So the more English you can speak, read, write, just in general, the better you will do on the test. And then if you have specific test-taking strategies like for how to use your time wisely or specific things that they're looking for, then that helps you get a better score even. So even probably is the same. Anytime you take a test, there's the fact that you know what you're being tested on, and then there's the actual test taking strategies. So today we're going to be working on, it's kind of the test taking strategy in the sense that I looked for and found, I'm going to put it up in the screen share here, what they're looking for specifically on, for the IELTS, but it's very similar for the TOEFL as well. And there are certainly specific types of questions that they will ask you, and they're actually pretty common questions. So they're always good to practice anyways. Even if you are not preparing for a test, it's always good to be able to answer these types of questions because it helps the conversation. So when you meet somebody, I'm just pausing here so much because I'm noticing that my computer is really slow. So right now you're seeing the stuff and it is backwards, and I think just it's my computer's problem. So just be patient and hopefully it'll work itself out. I don't know why it is so slow right now. I don't have a lot of windows open or anything. So so we're gonna practice the thing about the speaking test, which is tricky, is that it is timed. So you do have to be able to say what you want to say in a short amount of time. And so that can be tricky if you get nervous or if you aren't well prepared, because a lot of times when we get caught off guard and we get nervous, then we might hesitate. So if you hesitate too much, then your time runs out and you aren't able to show the person who is testing you that you actually do know how to speak English well. So these tests, especially the speaking part, they're pretty short, you know, maybe in 1 minute or 2 minutes or something like that. So you don't have a lot of time to talk. And if you're doing it on the computer, so you're not even with a person, and if the computer's asking you the question and then you have a certain time, you know, you really have to just start right away. So it's good to actually practice that if you're taking the test. And if not, it's just a good way to practice your fluency so that when you are having a conversation with somebody, whether it's a native speaker or another person who's speaking English, then you can answer, you know, quickly. Not you know, you don't have to be so quick, but just in a normal fashion, a normal speed of a conversation. So that's what we're going to be working on. And so here's the first part. This is called the speaking part 1. And this part, I'll read it here. Part 1 of the IELTS speaking module consists of personal questions about you, your family, your work, your education, or other familiar topics, so things that you would know about. Make sure you can speak correctly, clearly, and with ease and confidence in response to each question. Remember to make your answer interesting by providing more than the basic information. So, of course, there's always one way to answer a question, like a very simple way. Like if somebody says, "What do you do for work?" you could say, "I'm a computer programmer." Okay, that's true, and that would be a correct sentence, but maybe it doesn't show exactly how much you can speak. So you might instead say something like, I'm a computer programmer. I got my degree in computer science 10 years ago, and I got my first job when I was just graduated, and I've been working at the same company for the last 10 years, and I really love my job. You know, you could just go on and on like that. So it gives the person who's evaluating your answer a little bit more evidence, we could say, that you do know how to speak English well. So the more you can do that, the better score you will get. So some of these sample questions are highly likely to appear on your exam. So this is a link if you guys want to follow this, if you are interested in preparing for this test. It's a really good idea to prepare ahead of time because it costs a lot of money. I think this particular test could cost you like almost $200 just to take it one time. And if you don't get the score you need, then you will have to keep taking it until you get it, and it can be very expensive to do that. So it's better to prepare ahead of time instead of just trying to take it over and over again. Okay. All right, so let me welcome people because a couple people came in. I saw Rafael. Hi, Rafael.
Hi, Lisa.
We missed you in the role play class. We were still laughing about the other one.
Yeah.
That was so funny. That was a good one. Okay, good to know everybody has a good sense of humor. All right, and Laurent, how are you? Laurent, are you there? Your microphone is muted.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Welcome to class.
Thank you very much.
And Laurent, are you in France?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me again, I think you told me before maybe, what part of France?
I come from southwest of France.
Okay.
Close to Bordeaux.
Okay. Yep, I know
Yeah.
that area a little bit. Welcome. Okay,
Thank
so I think everybody but Raphael's in Europe at this time. So you guys, it's what, like 11 o'clock for most of you, except for Raphael?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And Raphael, you're only 5 hours difference from me now, so what, 7, a little after 7?
Yes, 7,
Mm-hmm.
12.
Yep. Okay, great. All right, so here we go. So the way I'm going to do this is this is kind of just a practice. So everybody's going to get a chance to practice, and we'll just work our way through some of these. If there's something you want to practice yourself, you can tell me because we're not going to have enough time to like do all of these things. So these are just different topics. We're only going to work right now just with the speaking one. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see that there's a part 2 also, and that's a little different, and maybe I can do that in another class. And I actually use this with a private student, so you can see that I put some notes here for how to answer these questions. So if you need to practice, that might be a good opportunity for you. These are more like describing things. And then there's a part 3 also where the person interacts with you a little bit more and you go into even more detail about stuff. And I also have down here things like the scoring rubric, so if you want to try to understand what they're looking for, you can do that, and there's also some videos down here. So you can access this page again after class, and it has a lot of good information here if you need this type of information. Okay, so we're going to start with this one because this one is common for any time. Anytime you're meeting a new person, you want to describe yourself. So let's talk about, first of all, make sure everybody knows what that would include. So Andrea, what kinds of things would you include when you're talking about yourself? I'll make some notes here.
How you look like.
Okay, let's see, hold on. Okay, so what you look like. You might want to talk about that. Okay, what else? Laurent, what would you say?
My status, if I'm single, married, and I have children.
Okay. You could, yeah, so you could talk about your marital status and whether or not maybe you have children, if you're going to include that. Yeah. What else? Carol, what might you say about yourself?
Age, nationality, nationality.
Okay. Might say how old you are and what country you're from. Chi, what else would you say?
What's your job and what's your favorite subject studying in the university?
What you liked studying, okay, in the university. Yeah. Raphael? What would you say? But describe
Hobbies.
yourself. Your hobbies? Yeah.
Favorite hobbies, yeah.
Okay. So another one that I might add is like personality. Things like, do you see yourself as like introverted, extroverted? Do you like to go to parties, or do you like to stay home? So kind of like, what kind of person are you? Are you a family person? You like to spend a lot of time with your family? Do you like to go out with friends? Do you like to learn new things? Are you the type of person who likes to learn new things? Do you like to travel? So any of those kinds of things that are kind of unique to you, because then these other types of questions get more in depth about work, family, education, stuff like that. But when you're describing yourself, you can take that question in any way you really want. The most important thing that they're looking for is, of course, your fluency. So using good sentences and your the fluency, so you're not hesitating, and you can actually just say whatever it is that you want to say. So you can give examples
It's
and
most difficult.
yes.
Yes, of course.
That's the difficulty, and it's even difficult in your own native language. Sometimes you have to think. But that's part of the preparation for this part of the exam. You do not have a lot of time to think. So you have to come in here really prepared. If they ask you a question about yourself, you might want to have already, it's known as like a little elevator speech. So an elevator is, the box that you ride up and down in tall buildings. And so that's the elevator. And the reason why it's called an elevator speech is because it's short. So you have to pretend like you're going to give your speech to somebody while you're riding the elevator up to your room, let's say if you're at a hotel or something. So your elevator speech is a short speech that you can use all the time whenever you meet somebody and they say, oh, what kind of person are you? Describe yourself to me. And you can use those things, my name is such and such, I'm, my age, you can say I am. So I would say, like, my name is Lisa, I'm 43 years old, I'm from the United States, I am divorced, I have 3 children, 3, almost teenage children, I teach English online, I have a business, you could go on and on like that. And of course you have 1 minute, and in 1 minute you could actually say quite a lot if you don't spend a lot of time hesitating. So you don't want to spend too much time going like, and I, so, if you do that, that takes up your time. Okay, so we're going to start. Everybody will have a chance, and remember, it's just practicing. So what I want to do is I want to give you a chance to speak, and then if I have any comments, I'll give you some feedback, maybe some things that you might want to work on, some sentences that you could work on that are more concise, perhaps, or something like that. I'll just see how it goes. Okay? So, Andrea, how about we start with you?
Okay.
And let me, I'm going to get a timer, but I'm not going to show you guys the timer. So you won't be looking at the timer. Okay, hold on. I got to figure out how this works. Reset. I got to find my online timer. Alright. One doesn't work. What was that one that I was using? There we go. That one's good. Okay, Andre, go ahead. I'm going to give you 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, go.
My name is Andrea. I'm from Spain. I'm 32 years old. I'm married. Nowadays, I don't have children. I don't have children yet. I'm not working nowadays, but I'm a teacher. I would love to teach children with special education needs, but I only work in the afternoons like a private teacher. When I was at school, I loved to study maths. This was my favorite subject. My hobbies are singing, playing the guitar, reading, and watching movies. And I'm an extroverted person. I'm very talkative. I like to go to parties. and to spend time with my friends. But sometimes I prefer to stay at home.
Okay, that was 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, good. So my feedback is that it was good. It kind of is a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like Hamid.
Yeah. So it's good to have lots of things to say and to kind of just keep going because that's what they're looking for. So I said you did a good job. You said what your age was, where you're from. You talked about being married. You talked about what you do for work. You mentioned what you liked to study in school, and you had time to talk a little bit about your hobbies, and then you went on to your personality and some things that you like to do, and then that's it. That was over. So that's good. Really, it's a personal thing, so you can focus on anything you want and just fill up that 1 minute of time. And as far as the language goes, I didn't really hear any mistakes, so that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
All right, Alexandra, welcome. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Welcome to class. We're just getting started, so Andrea just went, and we're all working on the describe yourself, and I'm giving everybody 1 minute. So we brainstormed some ideas of what you could talk about when you're describing yourself. And so now it's going to be Carol's turn. So Carol, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, ready, go.
Well, I'm Caroline, actually. I'm single. I come from Brazil. I'm 34 years old, and I'm teacher now, but I was a fashion designer, and I love travel. It's kind of an obsession. I like to movies and literature, mainly French literature and Russian literature, not English literature. And I'm very lazy person. And when I drink, I'm very extroverted, but usually I'm introverted. I like my friend. I don't have too much friends, but I like the ones that I have. And this is not 1 minute yet. Don't know what.
8 more seconds.
Voilà, fini.
Yeah. Okay. Voila. All right. Great. So that was fine. Yeah. I mean, the last 8 minutes. 8 seconds. That wasn't a big deal because you didn't hesitate during the whole time. So that was great. And I actually thought, Carol, you were from Spain. So I messed up on that one. So you're from Brazil. What part of Brazil?
I'm come from São Paulo.
São Paulo. Okay, great. All right. So yeah, I think you did a good job. It was good. It was a little bit different than Andrea's, and so and you spoke naturally and with fluency, and it was interesting too because you mentioned about the type of literature that you like and you don't like. So so that was good, and that's a good point. When you're describing yourself, of course, as a person, you have likes and you have dislikes, so you can always include the things you do like and that you're good at, and also the things that you don't like and maybe that you're not very good at. It just is something more you can talk about that gives the person, really they're looking for your language. So the more you can, if you're looking to have a higher score, then of course saying words that are a little bit higher level words rather than just short, simple sentences. So you did a good job of that, and so did Andrea. And everybody's different, so everybody has, will be at different levels and use different kinds of vocabulary, but so therefore you get different scores. So based on that, of course. So good. All right. Yeah. And if you have any questions, let me know too. I'm just.
Can we lie?
Yes, absolutely. So,
okay.
So I would say that that's a good question because sometimes these questions are kind of hard. Like you don't have necessarily a lot of things to say about some of these things. Like the weather so much or I don't know what. But if you get a funny question and nothing is coming to you naturally, yeah, I don't know if it's lying, but it's like you can just make it up because
Invent.
yeah, you're inventing something, you know, because it's really more about your language. Not, you know, they're not going to know how old you are or where you're, you know, where you live or whether or not anything you're saying is true. That's not really the purpose of the speaking. It's just to evaluate your fluency. Can you express yourself clearly in English? So it's not really, yeah, that's a good question. Okay, Chi, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, want to describe yourself?
Okay. My name is Chi, and I'm from Hong Kong. I'm now 32 years old, and because my wife study in the university, so I'm now living in the Britain, and my job is the assistant quality surveyor. I'm study the Of course, I'm studying the quality surveyor in the university, and my hobby is playing video game. This is obvious. I'm the introvert person, so my speaking may not very well. So, sometimes I think I should join the party rather than stay at home. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
You just had 1 second left, so just yeah, you did it. That's good. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so that was good. There were just a couple of small mistakes that you made, but not very big, and you were able to say a variety of different things about yourself. The only thing I would work on, the speed is not really too important. It sounded like you were a little bit hesitant, but so to get a higher score, you could work on the speed a little bit and just the flow, just a little bit the flow. But I was able to understand what you were saying, and a couple of words maybe I would work on pronouncing them a little more of the standard way, but I was able to understand. So that's good. Do you have any questions about what you might say?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good. All right, Laurent, you're up.
Yes.
Okay, you describe yourself to us.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Alright, let's go. So, my name is Laurent. I'm a French guy from France. I was born in Bordeaux and bred in the countryside, in a small city, a small town called Sissac. It's not far from the ocean. My hobbies is watching TV. So clearly we can say I'm a lazy guy. So I really like watching TV, but I also like to travel and to try to travel now in the English country, like England, Canada, and other states like this. I work in IT company. I work on operating systems.
Okay, time's up. Okay, great. All right, that sounded good. Yeah, no, it was nice. It was good, and you came up with another thing, which was good, which was to talk about like where you were born, where you grew up, and how in the countryside, and that was interesting as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that was good. I didn't see any big problems or anything, so that was nice. All right, Raphael, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Rafael. I'm from Brazil. I'm 29 years old. I am single. I don't have any children. I'm an electrical engineer. I work for a company responsible for receiving storage and of electrical equipment. So I am, although it's a good area of acting, it's not exactly my goal for my career. The goal for my career, there is, I'm specializing in industrial networks. Well, I am an introverted person. Not like 2 cups of wine couldn't change. I like to go to parties, and that's it. I'm considered a funny person. I'm okay.
You're a funny person. Okay, you had just 1 second left, so that's good. Okay, yeah, Rafael, that's great. I just sometimes it's the thing about asking somebody like right on the spur of the moment is the choice in your mind what to say, because
Exactly.
I think you were able to express yourself, but it seems like you didn't know which direction to go. Should I talk about this or this or this? So you obviously could talk about a lot of different things. So in terms of the language, that's what somebody's looking for, so you can express yourself. But yeah, so that's why preparing for it, I don't know if you're preparing for the test, but if somebody is, it's a good idea to kind of already have in your mind where you might go with this question. Just because even in your own language, it might, be like, oh, should I tell them about this or that, or, And like I said, we don't have that much time. So, okay, Alexandra, your turn. Are you ready?
Well, everybody was talking. I was just listening to everybody, and I didn't prepare in advance.
That's okay. I don't think they prepared too much.
No time.
Yeah, not much time, really. So are you ready?
Okay, let's try. I don't know. I already don't know what to say.
Yes, but you know English pretty well, so just you can look at this. This is kind of a help, like a cheat sheet here we created for ourselves, and you can talk about this, or you can just take it however you want. When somebody asks you, just describe yourself, you actually can just take it wherever you want. You can focus on your personality. You can focus on like what you've done in your life so far. Those types of what you want to be doing, things like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready? Go.
All right. Okay. My name is Alexandra. I'm from Russia, so obviously I'm Russian and I'm not married. I don't have any children. I only have my younger sister, and that's enough for me in terms of children. I'm 27. I work in an oil company. If you ask me to describe myself, I would say that I'm very amiable. I like to be around people, and I have lots of friends around the world, and everybody is waiting for me in every part of the world. I mean, my friends. Yeah. So I'm kind of assertive, yes, and I try not to give up, and I try to be persistent and diligent, and I usually strive to be successful, though sometimes I fail. I also can speak German, but I guess not so well as English.
Okay, time's up.
Okay.
Good. So what you reminded me about in yours, which yours was fine, is you could go on and explain, describe yourself more using like the descriptive words that you said. Like you said amiable. Whoops, amiable. But you could also, how do you spell amiable? I don't think it's that way. It's not a very common word. I would have said friendly. I'm very friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, amiable, but I know what you mean. And yes, and friendly, and what did you say? Diligent and hardworking. You could use all these different types of descriptive words for yourself. You could, that was kind of what introvert or extrovert is. So that's a good thing too, is when you're talking about yourself. Use descriptive words. Some of you also said like you were lazy, or those are good words to use because you're describing, giving somebody a picture of what the type of person you are. Are you athletic? Are you more into computers? Like you, Laurent, you mentioned you like to watch TV, for example, and Carol likes to read. So, yeah. Those are good. Okay, so next up is describing your family. So when you're describing your family, these are some kinds of things you might talk about. So these are in the form of other types of questions. Do you have a large family? So you can, I have a small family. It's just me and my brother and my mom. My dad lives somewhere else, something like that. How much time do you spend with your family? What do you like to do together as a family? Do you get along well with your family? And are people in your country generally close to their family? So these are the type of questions that are related to your family. So I'm going to ask you to describe your family, and then as you're describing your family, you might include some of this stuff. You don't have to address every single one, but you can just try to talk for a minute about this. And I am going to now, well, no, I'm not going to show you because then I won't be able to let you look at this. Okay, so Andrea.
Okay.
Are you ready to talk about your family?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I have a small family. Only my father, my mother, my sister, her boyfriend, my husband, my dog, and my grandma. I don't spend much time with my family. I mean, I try to talk with my mother every day by phone.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to eat with them on the weekend, and I like to celebrate parties with them or something like, I don't know, birthdays, Christmas time too.
Uh-huh.
I get along with them. I get along well with them, but not with my entire family.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that's so Andrea's going first, so she's the one that everybody gets to learn from her. But that's good. Just what you said was fine. You have a small family, and then you mentioned who are kind of the members of your family. Then you gave some examples, like trying to talk to your mom every day, which I thought is impressive. And then, there might be that you get along well with some. So, again, this is a question that you get to take in any direction. There is no right or wrong answer. You just get to talk about what comes to you. So you could focus on your mom or your dad or somebody, or you could, just kind of talk generally about what you do with them, what it's like. You could go back to your childhood and talk about then, I used to get along really well. My sister and I really did a lot of things together, but now we don't. You could just take it however you want to. So, Carol, your turn.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
Okay. My family is very small. It's only me, my father, and my brother. And then I live in Brazilian South. It means we don't live in the same city. We talk once in a week, but now things are changing because my father started to use WhatsApp, and so he sends me messages sometimes. I'm going to travel. And I send him some photos sometimes. I think it's a very nice thing because we don't talk too much by phone anymore, only by internet. Where else? We see in Christmas sometimes, but usually I spend Christmas time with my mother's family, and we're not very, very close, but there is no big problems too. We get used of this with this distance.
Okay.
And
time. Okay, good. Okay, now I don't know if what you're gonna say is true or not.
Okay. It's true.
Okay. Yeah. I have a question about the WhatsApp, because is that in Brazil, is that used more than just regular text messaging?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not very.
Because I know a lot of people use it, and I just got it specifically so I can text with people internationally. But if I was texting just like with my mom or something, I would just use the regular like iPhone text message. But I wonder if there's a different. What's the difference?
I don't know, Rafael, do you know?
Rafael, yeah, Tina?
No,
He's
you use it a
Brazilian.
lot. We use it a lot for everything. We are
Yes.
almost not only for messages, but I think for everything. We
Sending
barely
pictures
use.
and everything.
Yes, yes.
Just we too.
It's easier to use. We don't use the telephone for making normal calls. It's more, I don't know, practical maybe.
Huh. Okay.
WhatsApp, I think it's just for text.
And
I think.
pictures too. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Picture,
Also, no
sounds.
voice, no voice.
Sounds too.
There
Voice
is
too.
voice. Yeah.
There's voice too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, but I think you can use it just for 1 year.
Oh, for free.
Ah,
For
bon.
free. For free, yeah.
Oh.
But there is another application which is free. It's Viber. And
What's it
Viber with
Ah, yeah,
Viber.
Viber. Yes, I know it.
Yeah.
With
How do you spell
Viber,
it?
you can send messages
Viber.
and you can call for free. Yes, something like this.
Okay.
And you can speak for free all over the world.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
with line too.
Of course you can speak also with Facebook.
Oh
With
right.
Facebook Messenger, you can write and speak. I'm in France and I speak a lot with Americans, with some Americans by
Yeah.
Facebook.
Okay.
And it's totally free and yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. There's so many options these days. Okay. Great. Okay, Chi, it's your turn to describe your family. Are you ready? Okay.
And yes. And I have a father, mother, just a normal family, and also have 2 elder brothers. In my family, I think it should be small family because we have 5 people, including me and 1 dog called Bobo. Yeah, and now I'm not spend too much time with my family, because I'm live in foreign and now I spend more time in work. I try to cook the dinner for my wife, and because eat outside is quite expensive, and when we finish the dinner, my wife will wash the dish. This is we also watch the TV program when in the weekend.
Okay, time's up.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's also good, and that's probably common if you're coming here anyways, or if you're living apart from your family. So that's a good thing to include is, describing who's in your family, but then also like the idea that you don't see them very often because you're living in a different country and you spend a lot of time working. And so you said that, and then also Carol, that was a good comment that you made that even though you don't see each other, that it's not because there's like a big thing going on between you. It's just that you're living in different parts of the country, or maybe in Chi's case, different parts of the world, and you don't get to see each other very often. So that's a good thing to talk about as well, if that's true for you. Okay, Laurent.
Yes.
You're up.
So in my family, I had 2 dogs, but they died. So except them, we can divide my family into parts. My family on my mother side. So them I don't really know them, so it's not interesting. And the second part from my father, and we are very very close. So I mean when one of us have a problem, everybody asks questions and try to help. So we try to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we are a very close family. But the people that I see a lot are my parents, of course, and my brother, who have a wife and two children.
Okay,
And I really time not over. I really like my children, my nephew.
Your nephew?
Now it's off.
Yes, that's okay. Okay, good. Yeah, and so what I'm liking is everybody's taking it a little bit different. So that's totally fine. So you're able to talk about different parts of your family. Of course, everybody has like a mom's side of the family and a dad's side.
Yes, that was my question. We say mom's side.
Yeah.
Or mom family or mom.
You could say we could say it a lot of different ways. So you could say my mom's side. Oops, sorry, side. My dad's side of the family. So if you're taking an exam, you might say something like, I don't really know my mom's side of the family very well. I'm much closer to my dad's side. You could also say mother's or father's side of the family. We're very close. Like you said, if somebody in the family has a problem, then we get together and we talk about it and we help each other and support each other. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So so the family is really, just up to you to decide how you want to describe your family. If you want, it gets a little interesting for adults because, at my age, I'm 43. How would I describe my family? I might just talk mostly about my kids, that I'm divorced, that I have a new partner, that, but I might want to talk about my mom and my dad, but my family is really like more my kids at this point. So it just depends on how you see yourself. I could talk about my parents, my grandparents, how often I see them, like you guys mentioned, for holidays, for birthdays, things like that. So it really just depends on your family and what you do with your family.
And if you want to say the truth.
Yeah, probably you want to say the truth because it might be confusing if you start making up a story and you don't know it very well.
Exactly.
It's probably easier for some of these questions to stick with the truth because you know that it's real. You know what to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Raphael, you ready?
Okay.
Okay, tell us about your family.
I have a small family. It's only me, my sister, my grandmother, and my mother. So, with the exception of my grandmother, all of us work, so we don't have time to see each other. Only on weekends, if we're not traveling. My sister also has to work to travel, so as me. So, is it hard to meet each other to join together, and I'm also prepared to move out this year. So, my mother doesn't know yet. So I'm preparing to this bombshell to her. So, and it's a good family. We don't have reasons to fight and to discuss, and we have a good relationship. In general.
Okay, time's up. Good. So you're gonna drop the bomb on her?
I am preparing.
Preparing your bomb. Will it be a surprise to her?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Alexandra.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you. You ready?
Okay, as usual.
Okay, go
Not
ahead.
so many ideas.
All right, go ahead.
I have a nuclear family. My family doesn't live with me, so we live in different places, in different cities. What else? We don't spend much time together as a family. But but I get on with my family for sure. I don't see, sometimes they tend to, I don't know how to say, indulge in my privacy, but I don't mind it, because that means attention to me, and I know that this is how they express their attention and love to me, so I don't mind that indulgency. And I wish I could spend more time with them, because this is my family, but the only thought that there is somebody who loves me just as the way I am makes me feel fine, and I think that's what, at least this makes me happy.
Okay, good. All right, time's up. Did you mean, you said indulge in your privacy, but I think you mean invade.
Yeah, invade, yes.
Invade, yeah, okay. Because to indulge would be like, if they indulge you, that means they let you do kind of whatever you want. For example, they allow you to do things. But
no, invade, yeah.
Yeah, invade your privacy, yeah. Okay. So where did your parents live?
They live in another city, far away from me, yeah.
Oh, far away?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where your sister lives too. So you don't have to see her very often.
No, I was just joking about the fact that it's enough of me. No, of course not. We have good relations and so on.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, good. Siblings are always, I think it's usually pretty good, but sometimes it can be not so close. Depends on, how close you are and how you grew up. Okay, I think we have time maybe for everybody to do one more, and this is on the work. So these are all kinds of things. So, of course, what do you do? So maybe your job title. What kinds of things are you responsible for in your job? You might talk about how many hours you work. So that, you could say, I work part-time, so I'm only working about 20 hours a week. Or you can say I'm working full-time. Or you can say I'm working more than full-time. Some people might have to work 2 jobs, and maybe they work 60 hours a week, something like that. You could talk about whether or not you like your job, your work that you do, if there's something else you'd rather do. So these are all the different kinds of things you could talk about. I don't know if you need to talk about this. Describe the process of a job in your country. Yeah. No, I would just, forget about that. You could talk about your company, like if you said, I'm a computer programmer and I work for Apple Computers. I work mainly on software development. I've been working on the new operating system for the last 10 months. It's going to be coming out in July. I work with a team. I actually am the head of a team right now, and I really enjoy doing that because I like working with other people, and the people that I work with are really great. They're really creative people, and they have lots of good ideas, and we have a lot of fun together. One of the things I don't like about my job is I have to work overtime a lot, and sometimes it's up to 60 hours a week, and that's just too much for me. So I'm hoping that once the new operating system comes out, we can take a vacation, and then I don't have to work so much. Something like that. I just made that up. Okay. So you can talk about that. Of course, Andrea, you can talk about your work, or if you don't have a job right now, if you're studying, then you can talk about that, or that you're looking for a job and you hope to work in some area, whatever is true for you, or whatever you want to make up. Okay, Andrea, 1 minute. Go for it.
So I'm not working nowadays. I'm not working in school like a teacher, but I teach 2 girls. With special education needs in my afternoon time, and I spend 1.5 hours every day with them. I can talk about the work I had last year, maybe.
Yeah.
I was working in a charity with children who had no parents. I worked 24 hours, and then I had 24 hours off.
Oh.
I enjoyed my work. Sometimes it's a hard job.
Yeah.
Because of the situation of that kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it because I feel that I could help them.
Yeah.
Sometimes to feel better.
Time's up.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, so working with those kids was hard sometimes, but you felt like you could help them. Yeah, so that was rewarding. Yeah, you could talk about your job as being rewarding. For example, that's a word. It's rewarding to know that you're helping somebody. Mm-hmm. Okay, Carol.
Well, I'm a private teacher right now. I was fashion designer before, but I changed it, my job.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good, but very unstable too. The main thing that I love is to teach, the act of teach. I don't know how to say that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to prepare classes, I love to looking for new stuff. I have just received a lot of material from France Embassy, and they sent me very nice new music that I have never heard before, and some, I don't know, very small movies. How to say, court-métrage?
Short films or something?
Short movie, exactly.
Okay.
And it's very, very interesting. But voilà, the main problem is the instability. But I will start with as Portuguese teacher as I think next year.
Okay. Time's up. Are you a French teacher now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, Chi, tell us what you do for work.
Work for construction company. I mainly check the engineering report, find out is it additional price as the engineering doing. I also produce the cost report, something like the cost value compare, reconcile, cost value reconcile, something like that.
Yeah.
I do about 7.5 hours per day, but actually I need to spend more time to study other construction technician terms. I really enjoy in this work as I'm interested in the construction process, how it make the building work, and what each part building they have the different function, and find out the detail of it. You can say I have a lot of questions, and when I'm doing this job, I can find a lot of answer for that.
Time's up. Okay.
Yep.
Good. All right. Good. Yeah. You just I would just say working on some of the pronunciation of some of the words. So it's because I didn't understand a couple of the words that you said. So just working on that flow in saying what you said would be good. Okay.
Actually, can you understand what I'm talking about? Did I speak clearly or unclear?
There were just a couple of words I wasn't sure what it was. What you were saying, the construction. Yeah.
Okay. Just something compare the cost and
the cost and the value of the car. Yeah, I understood that. Reconciliation. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's right.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Okay, Laurent, you're up. Laurent, are you there? Your microphone's muted.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go for it.
So when I was student, I would like to be a teacher of mathematics, but unfortunately, I hadn't my exam, my diploma. So I've decided to come in countryside, and with some friends, we have decided to make a plantation of a banana tree.
Oh.
So yes. Here in France, it's very rare.
Yeah,
okay.
rare.
So we have decided to do this. So the most difficult is not to raise up banana tree, But is to be careful because of the monkey we have here in France. So
To be careful of what?
of the monkey, the monkey,
The monkey?
the monkey. Yeah, we have a lot of monkey here around the city.
In France?
Yeah, yes.
Really?
In France?
Yes,
Monkeys.
exactly.
Where do you live?
Oh, please, stop
He's
talking.
lying.
I'm talking. It's my minute, okay?
Okay, your time's up.
Oh, of course, my time's up. You asking the stupid questions. Of course, in France we have monkeys. Oh, of course. Oh.
That's funny. Okay.
I'm sorry, but I didn't want to speak about informatics and my real job.
No problem. That was funny. Okay, Raphael. We have time. We're gonna do Raphael and Alexander real quick. So it'll be 2 more minutes. Raphael.
Okay, I'm an electrical engineer. I work for the company responsible for receiving, storage, and maintenance and project uh, of equipments which work for a power station in the oil company in Brazil. And I love my job, but it's not exactly the main acting area I'm looking for. I'm preparing for the automation services. And what do I like from my job? It's because I travel a lot. It's a good way to know more cities and meet new people and be contact with in other cultures. So it's just interesting meeting at different hotels in different places. It's a good thing of my job.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Alexandra, you're last. Go for it.
My job. I worked as an interpreter on one of the oil fields in the north of Russia. And the first and the very most disadvantage about it is the unbearably cold temperature.
Yeah.
It was very cold. It was almost minus 40. So, but the advantage, which I can definitely tell you about, is the fact that I worked surrounded by men. And when you are the only woman surrounded by men, this is very pleasing because everybody treats you like
a princess.
like a princess. Yes, everybody takes care of you. So.
Nice.
Asks if you want something, or and it was a good experience in terms of the language. I mean, technical English, and in terms of testing your willpower.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I don't know if I can handle that cold weather. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Good. That was great. But you're not doing that right now, or are you?
No, I'm not.
No, you're studying. Okay.
I quit because this is unbearable. This is extremely cold.
Yeah, they'd have to pay you a lot of money to do that.
Well, they did, yes.
Yeah, good. Good. Okay, guys. Laura, for vegetables, you can raise vegetables. You can grow vegetables. You can do both.
Okay, and for children, it's just grow?
Raise children.
Raise children, okay.
Yeah. Usually it's grow vegetables. You raise crops, usually. You can raise, but raise children. You don't grow children. Children grow up, but parents raise their children.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, you guys all did a good job, so keep up the good work. And, if you...
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. if you're, you could keep looking at this page, and if you wanted to go to this site, if you're preparing for the IELTS, or otherwise just, for things to practice, these are good things to practice, because, these are the kinds of things you talk about when you meet somebody. If you're going to have a language exchange partner or something like that, it's always good to have more things to talk about, Okay, guys, thanks for coming. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Chi, you're back?
Yeah. Hello. I'm back.
Good.
Just
Welcome.
have a dinner. Yeah.
Yeah? You had your dinner?
Yeah. I've just had one dinner.
Nice. Okay. And hi there, Carol.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm doing well. Thank you. And Andrea, how are you doing?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm fine.
Did you
I'm
have
alone
dinner?
again. No, yet.
Not yet.
No.
What time are you going to have dinner?
I don't know. Maybe midnight.
Wow. So late. I'll be sleeping. Well, not
Yes.
at your midnight. I won't be sleeping, but at my midnight, I'll be sleeping. Yes, we have different time schedules. Okay, you guys. Well, I haven't done one of these classes for a while, so I thought I would throw one in here on the schedule and see if people wanted to do something like this. I do know that some students are preparing for some type of English proficiency exam. There are lots of them out there. Two of the most common ones, if you're interested in like studying or working in the United States or in another English-speaking country, one is the IELTS exam, which is a British exam, and then the other one is the TOEFL exam, which is an American company. But both of those exams are used to test your skills in English. So they, you take the test. It has speaking, reading, writing, and listening components or portions of the test, and then you get a score for each part. So your scores may show that you're about the same in all areas, or your scores may show that in some areas you're doing really well and maybe you have a higher level of skill, and then in some areas you maybe need more practice. But the best thing I recommend for people. Hi everybody, welcome to another hour of English classes here on verbling.com. My name is Lisa, and I am living in the United States. I'm from the United States. I live in the state of Washington on the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, and I'm one of the teachers here on verbling.com. And in this hour, we're going to be having a speaking class, and specifically, we're going to be practicing speaking to the questions or answering the questions or the type of questions that are asked when you take an English proficiency exam, such as the IELTS exam or the TOEFL exam. These are also very common types of questions when you meet people, when you're getting to know other people. So one of the things about learning English is that you will be able to communicate with more people. And usually when you meet somebody, you start having an exchange. So you're talking to each other and getting to know each other a little bit, learn about each other. So it's good to practice that as well. So if you have a reservation for this class, you can go ahead and use that reservation now. And if you don't have a reservation but you want to take this class, then you can just click on the Join Class button, and it should be available there in just a minute or so. The first 2 minutes are always reserved for people who have made reservations. So if you had a reservation, then you can use that now, but if you didn't, that's okay. You can probably join the class just by clicking on the Join Class button when you see it. Okay? All right, so hi Chi, you do for work. You could say, I'm a computer programmer. Okay, that's true, and that would be a correct sentence, but maybe it doesn't show exactly how much you can speak. So you might instead say something like, I'm a computer programmer. I got my degree in computer science 10 years ago, and I got my first job when I was just graduated, and I've been working at the same company for the last 10 years, and I really love my job. You know, you could just go on and on like that. So it gives the person who's evaluating your answer a little bit more evidence, we could say, that you do know how to speak English well. So the more you can do that, the better score you will get. So some of these sample questions are highly likely to appear on your exam. So this is a link if you guys want to follow this, if you are interested in preparing for this test. It's a really good idea to prepare ahead of time because it costs a lot of money. I think this particular test could cost you like almost $200 just to take it one time. And if you don't get the score you need, then you will have to keep taking it until you get it, and it can be very expensive to do that. So it's better to prepare ahead of time instead of just trying to take it over and over again. Okay. All right, so let me welcome people because a couple people came in. I saw Rafael. Hi, Rafael.
Hi, Lisa.
We missed you in the role play class. We were still laughing about
Yes.
the other one.
Yeah.
That was so funny. That was a good one. Okay, good to know everybody has a good sense of humor. All right, and Laurent, how are you? Laurent, are you there? Your microphone is muted.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Welcome to class.
Thank you very much.
And Laurent, are you in France?
Yes.
Well, taking any type of test is first work on everything. Work on your fluency, just speaking the language. Then once you're pretty good at communicating, you listen to things, you can hear, you understand what you hear, then you can start working on specific test-taking strategies. But it really is testing your English level. So the more English you can speak, read, write, just in general, the better you will do on the test. And then if you have specific test-taking strategies like for how to use your time wisely or specific things that they're looking for, then that helps you get a better score even. So even probably is the same. Anytime you take a test, there's the fact that you know what you're being tested on, and then there's the actual test-taking strategies. So today we're going to be working on, it's kind of the test-taking strategy in the sense that I looked for and found, I'm going to put it up in the screen share here, what they're looking for specifically for the IELTS, but it's very similar for the TOEFL as well. And there are certainly specific types of questions that they will ask you, and they're actually pretty common questions. So they're always good to practice anyways. Even if you are not preparing for a test, it's always good to be able to answer these types of questions because it helps the conversation. So when you meet somebody, I'm just pausing here so much because I'm noticing that my computer is really slow. So right now you're seeing the stuff and it is backwards, and I think just it's my computer's problem. So just be patient and hopefully it'll work itself out. I don't know why it is so slow right now. I don't have a lot of windows open or anything. So so we're going to practice the thing about the speaking test, which is tricky, is that it is timed. So you do have to be able to say what you want to say in a short amount of time. And so that can be tricky if you get nervous or if you aren't well prepared, because a lot of times when we get caught off guard and we get nervous, then we might hesitate. So if you hesitate too much, then your time runs out and you aren't able to show the person who is testing you that you actually do know how to speak English well. So these tests, especially the speaking part, they're pretty short, you know, maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes or something like that. So you don't have a lot of time to talk. And if you're doing it on the computer, so you're not even with a person, and if the computer's asking you the question and then you have a certain time, you know, you really have to just start right away. So it's good to actually practice that if you're taking the test. And if not, it's just a good way to practice your fluency so that when you are having a conversation with somebody, whether it's a native speaker or another person who's speaking English, then you can answer, you know, quickly. Not you know, you don't have to be so quick, but just in a normal fashion, a normal speed of a conversation. So that's what we're going to be working on. And so here's the first part. This is called the speaking part 1. And this part, I'll read it here. Part 1 of the IELTS speaking module consists of personal questions about you, your family, your work, your education, or other familiar topics, so things that you would know about. Make sure you can speak correctly, clearly, and with ease and confidence in response to each question. Remember to make your answer interesting by providing more than the basic information. So, of course, there's always one way to answer a question, like a very simple way, like if somebody says, what do